guys, it's Peanut and Ice Cream Bar. It's time for another character video. So last time we were talking more about Citrus's sculpt and his evolution as a character in a physical sort of way. And so now I want to go back to talking about him in his actual character backstory kind of fashion. But before we get too deep into his history, I want to briefly discuss who he currently is. Just to give you some almost background on his background, if that makes any sense at all. And what I mean by currently is who he is in the period of time where he would be interacting with my other ball joint doll characters. Citrus is actually a very long-living alien thing and extends far beyond the lifespan of any other character I have in doll form. First, I want to link you guys to some older videos. One is a video where I'm showing off Citrus and Muno's room, which they share. It was one of my first forays into set building. Definitely not as impressive as I thought it was back then, but also an old photo story. So who is Citrus now? Let's start by talking about how others perceive him. I personally like to think of Citrus as being sort of reacted to and perceived in two different ways. One is puppy, and the other is spider. Most often people get the puppy reaction. Something about Citrus's biology doesn't allow the average person to find sexual attraction in Citrus, right? It would be akin to finding a dog as sexually attractive. However, he is undeniably cute. To go back to the puppy example, you really love puppies, most people do, and see them as kind of defenseless but friendly, affectionate. You kind of want to run up to it and like push his face and like squat-a-ha. And that's kind of how people perceive Citrus, like he's adorable, he's so cute, oh my gosh. You'll recall that Citrus has the ability to more or less evolve to fit his environment, and I think this is definitely part of a subconscious survival strategy to be perceived as very cute, but not perceived as something that can be mated with. But he isn't perfect. Occasionally, depending on his mood and how long someone has known him for, how close they are, he may be perceived as spider. I guess what I mean by that is someone might see him and suddenly get a feeling of discomfort that something has sort of invaded your space and it looks kind of dangerous. You could probably take it, you could probably kill it if need be. It doesn't seem like a huge threat, but it puts you ill at ease, right? You don't like looking at it and oh my god, please don't move that way. Generally, the spider perception passes quickly, too fleeting to be considered a serious thought. As I said, Citrus would normally be perceived as puppy, though this is somewhat necessary to avoid triggering a human's fight or flight response, which kind of happens with spider. It also kind of has a huge drawback of no one can ever take him seriously. Who would? He's got neon rainbow hair, and he bounces around looking super cute. I mean, would you hire a puppy to do your taxes? Or be a doctor? Or even be like a store cashier? Would you? Maybe. You know, not seriously. Not if you wanted your business to be successful. So to avoid the ridiculousness of seeing a puppy do things like shop for groceries and use public restrooms, Citrus does a lot of stuff from home. He even works from home. I actually go back and forth on what Citrus's career is because he does need one. He can't just live off of being adorable. But right now I'm settled on freelance game programmer, mostly because he has a head for that sort of thing. But his lofty ambition is to become a toy designer, like designer toys, like those things that are like this big and they cost like $500. Though, you know, that's a lofty ambition. He's not exactly rolling in contacts or money or 3D printers. But he does spend a significant amount of his income on toys, children's toys, collector's toys, even that photo shoot story thing where I had him collecting ball joint dolls. That's where a lot of his money goes because that's where a lot of his interests lie. This hobby doesn't exactly entice anyone to take him any more seriously, but that's okay. This would frustrate most people. Not Citrus so much. He's not most people. He's not even people. And it's kind of the best thing about him, even though it's also a serious flaw. Citrus is always happy all the time. You want to cuddle? He will cuddle with you. He'll do it right up on that couch right there, on the floor, in the sky. How'd you get up there? I don't know. It's cuddle time. You want to talk about your feelings? He will be the best friend ever. He will listen to your feelings for a long time. He won't really know what to say, but he'll listen. And he won't ever ask you to listen to how he's feeling, because he never ever wants to talk about how he's feeling, ever. Because he's the most happiest, wonderful, happy-go-lucky person you'll ever meet, ever. Oh my god, sunshine. But none of that is because he's actually so goddamn happy. I mean, he is in constant awe of the world. All he remembers of his past is the cold darkness of space, so the sunrise is enough to jump out of bed in the morning with a smile on your face, right? But he isn't so consumed by the world that his mood is just at a constant all-time high. And eventually all this world stuff gets pretty repetitive. I mean, he's not a little spring chicken anymore. So why is Citrus so happy? His absolute worst nightmare is to not be happy. He is actually afraid of negative emotions. And if he starts to feel them, he will stuff them down so deep that the only thing left is a smiling empty shell. Oh, I'm so empty. But where does this fear come from? That's what we'll discuss next time. For now, I'll just say that he's avoiding the feelings of shame and guilt. Anything from deep personal loss to a case of the Mondays is cause for a massive anxiety reaction that will send him into sort of a manic happiness that he forces on himself. Trying to say it's not healthy is what I'm trying to say. So, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about who Citrus is currently. I hope you check those videos out, and I know they're older, so I hope that they're still okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to all of you soon. Bye!